The last category is human sounds, which is very self-explanatory. It's footsteps, it's shouting, it's crying, it's laughing, it's eating, it's love-making, it's anything that comes from a human that would build up your ambient soundtrack. So if we're in a city, there's going to be a lot of foot walla. Now, walla is a word that basically means crowd noise. So if you're in a cafe, for example, or a coffee shop, and every table is full and everyone's chatting and laughing and eating and sipping their coffee, that's going to have a lot of noise associated with it. It's crowd noise, and the word for crowd noise is walla. So you can say, right, associated walla here. They're in a cafe, or they're walking down a busy street. The associated foot walla of all of those pairs of shoes hitting the pavement as lots of people move around. So you could say anywhere that there is a crowd noise as part of your ambient track, you're calling it walla, and it's a part of your human sounds. Okay, all right, so let's look at some walla. Let's look at some foot walla here. Now, I found some very basic footsteps. We've got footsteps, hard concrete, and we're layering that with footsteps, hard concrete, up. And we're looking at some footsteps, hard marble walk, and some footsteps, concrete walk. So together we've got 4 tracks of footsteps. Now, on their own they sound pretty basic, and if you look at it with the footage, it doesn't really sound, it doesn't sound like it's synchronous. You can look at this and kind of go, well, you're just putting footsteps on top of, on top of a clip. It doesn't really feel like much. But having said that, if you add all the other sounds and you listen to those footsteps, now suddenly it just becomes a part of the soundscape, which is what we're after. We're not looking to synchronize all of these footsteps. We just want to create some sort of ambience of foot walla. We're seeing people walking and we're hearing the sound of people walking. It doesn't matter that they are, in sync with each other. We're wanting to hear what we're looking at. So this is very powerful because, you only have to hint at the idea of a sound. It just has to be in some way relevant to what you're seeing. It doesn't have to be entirely synchronous. You just have to go, well, I'm looking at a lot of people walking, so I expect to hear walking sound, right? They don't have to be in sync with each other. It just has to be present. And it starts to work. So as far as human sounds are concerned, we have foot walla. We've also got vocal walla. Now, this is what's really going to sell it, because you've got people walking and talking, and that's what crowds do. They move around and they communicate with each other. And really, you can break down an entire crowd into the movement sound and the vocal sound. So if we get a little bit of vocal walla here, let's just isolate a little bit of vocal walla. Now this is taken from a restaurant. This was a clip that I found in within Apple's Sound Life, actually. I think it's just basic human noise. Now you add that to the feet. On their own, they don't sound particularly convincing,
but you add the rest. Now listen. It starts to make sense. Now, I'm not doing a little bit of volume here and there, but I'm not trying to go too far into placing these sounds. As I said at the beginning, I'm only interested in just kind of finding the building blocks at this point. So yes, of course, there needs to be a bit of mix. We need to, focus on the mix a little bit more and maybe kind of place these things a little bit better. But I'm just interested in just kind of finding the building blocks that are kind of build up that ambient sound, and I think that's starting to be quite effective.